Now, you have unusually released a column on a Tuesday, 1 o'clock. I think it was meant to coincide with Google's unveiling of their
their embargo.
That was their embargo, and then they broke their own embargo, apparently, or something like that.
But I've been using it for about a week, and it's a new product called Google Drive,
yeah.
But it's actually an evolution of something they've had for a while called Google Docs, which was originally kind of an online competitor to Microsoft Office, not used by a really large percentage of people. So now they're kind of building around it a whole storage and syncing mechanism, which they call Google Drive.
Tell us more about it. It goes beyond Google. I've used Google Docs, and it's okay. It's a bit clunky, and you've got to use, you've got to work around a lot.
It's pretty rudimentary, yeah.
It's pretty rudimentary, but it's a good place to store stuff. How does this improve upon that?
Well, people were putting things into Google Docs and having no intention of editing them, just to have storage. And the storage was fairly limited. And what they're doing now is making a whole business of storing and syncing. So there are several elements to this. One is greatly increased storage. They're giving away 5 gigabytes free, and they're charging very low prices for up to an enormous amount, 16 terabytes.
That's a very large amount of data.
A terabyte is 1,000 gigabytes, roughly.
I mean, that's enormous.
It is enormous.
Especially for documents.
Right. But it's not only documents. You can store videos, you can store music, you can store photos, you can store anything you want on there. And they're, so that goes after sort of the leader in that area, which is Dropbox, which, for instance, Google's only going to charge $5 a month for 100 gigabytes. Dropbox charges 20 right now.
Right now?
Right now.
Right now. I wonder how long that lasts.
We'll see.
We'll see if they're watching the show and scrambling around with that. But there's another company called Box, right, which is a business to
Box is more for corporations, but Google is even undercutting them, I believe. And SugarSync, there's another good one called SugarSync. Google's undercutting them. Now, at the very same time Google is doing this, and there are other features in Google Drive, Microsoft, which has had a kind of obscure thing called SkyDrive that hardly anybody knows about, they've suddenly announced that they're going to expand it along the lines of Google, and they're going to give away 7 gigabytes free and charge even a little less than Google for some of the, they're not going as high in storage, but for some of the tiers of storage.
A race to the bottom. I mean, is this to capture market share, do you think, and become the dominant player?
Well, it brings you into one or the other of these companies' ecosystems. Somebody like Dropbox or SugarSync doesn't have a big ecosystem, but Google and Microsoft certainly do. And so, you know, as of now, when you go to Gmail, when you go to any other Google product, you'll see Drive at the top as an option. You can click on it and, you know, join it and upload things to it.
About half an hour ago. So you used this. Did you like it?
I did like it. I thought it basically worked as they said it would work, and it has some interesting features. Obviously, because it's Google, it does very good searching. They have a way that no matter what the file type is of a video, they kind of convert it into a format that plays on there. Music does not play. You can comment. Multiple people can comment on documents. That was true in Google Docs. Multiple people can edit a document. That was also true on Google Docs.
How is the document editing function? Is that much improved from Google Docs?
No, it's pretty much the same as Google Docs. And one of the problems that I think they need to work on is if you upload a Microsoft Office document,
which I've done,
you cannot edit. You can store it, you can share it, but you can't edit it because unless you convert it to a Google Docs document, which means an extra step, and it's kind of a pain in the neck. Microsoft's SkyDrive will allow you to do it because, of course, they own Microsoft Office.
So when you said the syncing phenomenon, tell us what that is about.
Well, that's really important. What they've done is what Dropbox had already done, which is there's an app. They create a special folder on your Mac or your Windows computer, and if anything you drag in there gets synced into Google Drive and is visible on the website. And they also have apps for Android, and they will soon have an app for the iPad and iPhone.
Wow. So this is something. Do you think it's worth the money if you have to pay for the extra storage?
It's very cheap. Yeah, I do think it's worth the money. If you wanted, I mean, for $2.50 a month, you can get 25 gigabytes. I mean, it's not
$2.50 a month.
Yes.